Let's make another soup today. This one is delicious. It's a tomato basil tortellini soup. Jump on in and make it with me. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine and welcome to my table. I'm so glad you're here. This soup has turned into one of our family's favorites and it is so full of flavor, but it is so easy to put together. We won't tell anybody how easy it is, okay? It's just between you and me. Okay, let's make it. I've got my big soup pot heating up already, and I'm going to take my olive oil and just drizzle a little bit in there. And then we're going to get some garlic going. I'm going to just use a pretty good spoonful, maybe the equivalent of 2 or 3 cloves. We don't need to give that too long. And then I'm also going to go ahead and add some rosemary. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon at this point. Let's let that start to get a little bit toasty in our pan. Give it one quick stir. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add some chicken broth. Now today I'm going to use this better than bouillon. So I'm putting in 4 cups of water. If you're using chicken broth, just use 4 cups of chicken broth. But I put my water in and then we need to add our bouillon. And it does have directions on the jar. Okay, basically for each cup you need a teaspoon. So I'm just going to kind of measure loosely with my spoon. So we want about 4 teaspoons to go with our water. I think that's pretty close right there. So I'm just going to let this stir. I'm going to stir it just a little bit and let it come together just directly in our soup pot. I love keeping this stuff on hand. It's so handy and it's so delicious. It's full of flavor. I actually kind of like it better than actual chicken broth that you buy at the store. Now, let's go ahead and add the rest of our spices. We're going to use half a teaspoon of basil, half a teaspoon of oregano. We also want about a half a teaspoon of salt. But we only want about 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Got one of these spoons that's adjustable, so that's kind of nice. Okay. Now I'm also going to add some of this dry minced onion. I'm going to add the equivalent of 1 onion, just a 1 regular size onion. I'm going to measure that in my hand, about like that. Now if you wanted to chop your own onion, you could do that and just add it at the beginning with the garlic. And then you might want to let it saute for just a little bit longer with that onion in it before you start adding the other things. Okay, so that takes care of our spices. Now we also want to add 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And then we're going to add 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Now my tomatoes are different kinds. One's just the petite diced. One is the fire roasted. So let's open up our cans. And we're not going to drain the tomatoes or anything. We're just going to pour it all in. Those are going to be good and big and chunky. And then we've got some of the smaller petite ones. So it'll be kind of nice to have a combination of textures and sizes in this soup. And then here, I'm going to put our tomato sauce in. Okay, now let's give it a good stir. You can already see all those yummy spices that are going to give it lots of good flavor. So now that we have added all of this, I'm just going to put the lid on our pot and we're going to let it just hang out for about 15 to 20 minutes and then we're going to come back in and finish it with just a few more ingredients. It's been about 20 minutes, so let's add the finishing things to our soup. Doesn't that look yummy? This is going to be so good. Okay. What we want to do at this point is add just about a half a cup of heavy cream. And then we also want to add, this is a small bag of just 3 cheese tortellini. This is 19 ounces, so that's about the size bag you want to add. If yours is an ounce or 2 off, it'll be fine. You don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to carefully add this. And this is frozen tortellini. So all we need to do now is give it a quick stir. And then leave it for another 10 to 15 minutes and just let that tortellini cook and let the soup just continue to get yummier and yummier as those spices come together with our tomatoes. Let's leave it for another 10 to 15 minutes. This soup is just about ready. We're going to add one final touch to our tomato tortellini soup. We're going to add just a little bit of Parmesan cheese here at the end. I'm just going to use my hands and do maybe about a half a cup. Just like that. Let's go ahead and get a bowl. Look at all that good tomato in there and our tortellini and the spices. It's going to be delicious. Now, you just can't have a bowl of tomato soup without a good grilled cheese sandwich with it. And I'm going to finish it off with just a little sprinkle of our Parmesan cheese. Let's give it the taste test. That is so good and so full of flavor. I mean, sometimes I do just open a can of soup and have a grilled cheese sandwich with it, and that's delicious. There's nothing wrong with that. But this just takes it to the next level. I love this soup, and my husband is a big fan of it too. He loves tomato soup with grilled cheese. I'm so glad you were with me here today at Mary Catherine's table. This is another one of our favorites, and I hope it will become one of yours too. Remember to hit subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and share us with your friends. And go check out our website, marycatherinestable.com. We'll have the recipe posted there to make it easy for you to replicate in your home. Thanks again for joining me, and remember, go out and find someone today who needs a little bit of kindness and give them some of yours.